Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello guys, welcome to Global Happening. Today we have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads Omo-Agege in trouble as group demand his resignation over alleged conviction. But before we continue with details of the news and for the analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, let's look at the news in detail. A coalition of 9 civil society organizations, CSO, on Monday accused the Deputy Senate President Ovie Omo-Agege of perjury and demanded that he resign his position in the Senate. The coalition alleged that the Deputy Senate President was convicted in the United States of America, USA, by the State Bar Court of the State of California, Los Angeles, in 1996. The convener of the coalition of civil society and youth group in Nigeria and national coordinator empowerment for unemployed youth initiative, Mr. Solomon Adudo, at a news conference in Abuja, faulted Omo-Agege, a senator representing Delta Central Senatorial District, for allegedly refusing to notify the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Nigerian Senate of his conviction in the United States of America, while insisting that such willful silence contravened the provision of Nigerian Constitution and rules of the Senate. The group, which also called for a fresh prosecution against Omo-Agege, threatened to stage a protest at the National Assembly if Omo-Agege fails to resign and the Delta Central Senatorial District is declared vacant within the next 72 hours. It should further be brought to our memories that sometime around April 18, 2018, Senator Ovie Omo-Agege, who was on suspension at the time, sneaked in through one of the glass barricades within the National Assembly complex and had the legislative mass seized by thugs allegedly under his instruction. This act in itself cast odium and deep negative aspersion on the image and integrity of the 8th Assembly, the group said. The group, which made reference to the snatching of the legislative mass by talk under Omo-Agege's instruction in the 8th Assembly, raised concern that Omo-Agege's emergence as Deputy President of the Senate was a mockery of the 9th Assembly. Adodo said, and I quote, "Incontrovertible documentary evidences available to us reveal that sometime in 22nd April 1996, Austin Omo-Agege, believed to be one and the same Senator Ovie Omo-Agege, was ordered to be suspended from the practice of law following his conviction for violating California Penal Code Section 470, a felony criminal offense involving moral turpitude under the authority of subdivision subsection A of Rule 951 California Rule of Court. Our scrupulous finding revealed that the said Augustine Omo-Agege was admitted into the State Bar of California on December 14, 1992. The record revealed that on or about March 7, 1992, the said Augustine Omo-Agege was alleged to have committed the crime of forgery of check in violation of Penal Code Section 470, a felony. Furthermore, on or about March 7, 1993, The said Augustine Omo-Agege was alleged to have committed the crime of perjury application for driver's license in the county of Los Angeles in violation of Penal Code Section 118, a felony also. Following a lengthy prosecution of the said allegation leveled against Augustine Omo-Agege, he was convicted of violating California Penal Code Section 470 and was also subsequently suspended from the practice of law pending final disposition of the proceeding. As true guardians of democracy and famed advocate of transparency in governance, we are deeply perturbed of the fact that Senator Ovie Omo-Agege concealed all this information from the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Thus, he was allowed to participate in the general election, contrary to the constitutional provision that produced him as senator representing Delta Central Senatorial District. In violation of the Senate rules, he also concealed the said information from the Nigerian Senate, thereby paving the way for his emergence as deputy president of the Senate. All these have resulted in the denigration of the image and esteem of the Nigerian Senate before the international body of legislatures. We can confidently state, howbeit with patriotic pains and disenchantment, that Senator Ovie Omo-Agege cannot confidently and freely lead a team of legislators to Capitol Hill for any meeting with the United States Senate owing to the weight of the conviction against him in the United States of America. Let it be noted that all these crimes alleged to have been committed by Senator Ovie Omo-Agege cannot be wished away, and the Senate will only be playing the ostrich by not taking the necessary action against the ethical misconduct of this prominent legislator. The said Senator Ovie Omo-Agege should be prevailed upon by the Nigerian Senate to resign from office and his senatorial seat declared vacant. In the event that Senator Ovie Omo-Agege hesitated in resigning from office, impeachment proceeding should be immediately initiated against him in order to redeem the battery image of Nigerian Senate. The law enforcement agency should immediately initiate fresh prosecution against Senator Ovie Omo-Agege for the grievous offense of perjury and denigration of the Nigerian Constitution. In the event that immediate action are not taken within 72 hours of this notice, we shall be left with no other option than to mobilize thousands of civil society and youth group to occupy the National Assembly until she is purged of corrupt elements. We shall maintain eternal vigilance and remain in defense of the Nigerian democratic system. But reacting to the allegation, the Deputy Senate President dismissed the allegation, saying the allegation, which has surfaced shortly after his emergence and as senator, both in the 8th and the 9th Senate, has been treated by the court. Speaking through the special advisor, media and publicity, Mr. Yomi Odunuga, Senator Ovie Omo-Agege said he has been traveling freely to and within the United States as he was cleared of all charges in the said case and was never a convict in the United States as being alleged. While accusing the group of attempting to drag his name into mud, he noted that the call for his resignation over a spurious and malicious allegation of conviction by a California court was the latest act of political jobbers who were seeking to mislead gullible people with lies and propaganda. He said over the past few days, Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ovie Omo-Agege, visited the United States of America and Canada for personal and official reasons, respectively, holding aloft the beacon of progressive ideology and an agenda for improving Nigeria's image internationally. We make haste to dismiss the entire allegation as not only unfounded and illogical, it is the residue of the rapt imaginations and misleading rumor peddled without conviction some years back. While the distinguished senator remained completely unperturbed by the nattering nabobs of negativity and their faceless sponsor, it remained clear that this is another feeble round of mere shadow chasing that ultimately amounts to nothing. He further made reference to an earlier publicized response to same allegation on September 25, 2018, which states that the fact is at a point in his brilliant and bright legal career in California, United States of America, Senator Omo-Agege, then a young attorney, was alleged to have broken the law in California, but in the end he was found not guilty. Accordingly, he was declared innocent by the Honorable Lance A. Ito, who presided over the popular O.J. Simpson murder trial case, and J. McNaira of the Court of California, County of Los Angeles. Omo-Agege has to fight hard for his innocence, and God vindicated him against the expectation of evil men like the most sadistic blackmailers in the world. Today, he remains an active member in good standing as the State of California Bar Association, an impossibility if a valid and subsisting conviction were hanging on him. These are verifiable public fact and true. Wow, this is a serious case of allegation leveled against Omo-Agege, who is the Deputy Senate President of the 9th Senate. And before we go on to discussing these, let's look at some of the reactions of Nigerians in respect to this issue. This one said, in Nigeria, politics is an ex-convict deal. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tinubu Ibori, you have to be criminal to survive the kind of election we conduct. This one said, by mere looking at his face, you will surely know that the guy is a notorious criminal and an agent of evil, useless mass snatcher. Well, and another person here said, leave our senator alone, I beg. Who are your sponsors? Hunger group looking for who to defame. All right, let's look at this issue. Omo-Agege can most be remembered for the case that came up 1 year ago. Yeah, exactly 1 year ago, when he, was suspended from the Senate for the action he took when the electoral amendment bill was passed into law. I think as at that time was precisely April 2018, they staged a walkout. About 9 of them, who are senators from APC, staged a walkout of the Senate because they said that everything that was done, the electoral amendment bill, was actually meant to, frustrate Buhari, that's our president, that it was meant to frustrate Buhari, and they staged a walkout, and they were suspended when the case was brought before the Committee of Ethics and Privileges. He was suspended, and then on a good day when I think this guy, Bukola Saraki, wasn't even in the Senate, I think he traveled to the United States for official assignment. It was actually the assistant deputies and the deputy Senate president that was available, Ikekwe Mado. And immediately after the commencement of the Senate plenary, he walked in with some talks and snatched away, the mass of the Senate. And the implication of that. Immediately the mass is not seen automatically. There can be no plenary. There can be no plenary session in Senate. It holds a lot of power. and a lot of cases were brought up against him and all of that, and finally the whole thing just died down. A lot of people then said he should be arrested and prosecuted for bringing in talks into the Senate House, but everything just went like that. But right now this group came they are a group of, according to them, say they are a group of civil society organization, and they are demanding that he should be prosecuted again over a case that had come up at one time like that in his political career. And this is quite a serious case which I believe that must be looked into. Yes, his media person has spoken vividly that he was tried, but he was not found guilty. But then I think that it's the duty of those who are in charge of those kind of issues, especially the Senate, to probe into the case and maybe tell him to stand down for now so that they can probe into the case and possibly satisfy the conscience of all Nigerians that truly he was not actually, guilty of the offense, which they claim or allege that he had committed. So I think the ball is now in the court of the Senate, and possibly also don't forget that these guys have promised that if nothing is done about him, if they don't tell him to step down and also to declare the Delta Central Senatorial seat empty, that they will stage a protest in the next 72 hours. And I think at this point, proper investigation should be carried out so that this issue should have a final rest. He's saying he's not guilty and that he's been traveling to the United States of America and coming out both on official and private visits and all of that. And so I think it's important for the Senate to look into the case. I think the Senate is going to be starting on the 28th of January. Let them look into the case and possibly see how it can be solved once and for all, for the sanity of those who believe that democracy, the tenets of democracy and the power of our constitution should be upheld. They believe that it is a way of abusing the Senate, and they're craving that things should be done aright. All right, that's where we're going to leave it. Please go to our comment section, let us interact.